very big story right now. The latest round of talks between the United States and Iran have concluded. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and President Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, reportedly, quote, disappointed by the morning session, according to reporting from Axios. Oman is mediating these negotiations and says technical talks are set for next week in Vienna, the home of the UN's nuclear watchdog, the IAEA. We spoke to their director here, Rafael Grossi, last week about what all of that would look like. Now, President Trump sending what he calls a huge armada of U.S. warships. It is the largest assembly of war power from the United States since before the Iraq War. Just take a look at what this looks like in terms of what these waterways are full of with American firepower right now. The president has warned that really bad things will happen. This is his warning to Iran if they don't cut a deal. Chief Foreign Correspondent Trey Yingst live in Tel Aviv and Chief National Security Correspondent Jennifer Griffin in Washington. Great to have both of you with us. Trey, what is your sense of how these talks have gone in Geneva and what this buildup in the whole region, including in Israel, looks like?
Martha, good afternoon. It's a great question. And according to Oman's foreign minister, the man who was mediating these indirect conversations today in Geneva, Switzerland, there was significant progress made, and technical details, according to the foreign minister, are going to be discussed next week in Austria. We have heard this cautious optimism before, and that's why you see this massive military buildup across the region. And here in Israel, officials preparing for the possibility that war erupts in the days ahead. And so while there is initial optimism, and the Iranians are telling their state media outlets that they will go back to the capital of Tehran and discuss the technical details, there is still a tension in the air across the Middle East, understanding that if these talks fail, the region is headed into conflict. Martha?
Jennifer, thank you, Trey. What is your sense from Pentagon sources? Obviously, they are ready, and potentially a comparison to what we saw in Venezuela and what signs we can read right now about where this is going.
Well, I think what I'm looking at right now are a few things. First of all, the Gerald R. Ford aircraft carrier strike group, which everybody's been watching. It was in Suda Bay, Crete, getting resupply, getting munitions. It is now moving east toward Israel, and it will be in position off the coast of Israel tomorrow. Then we also have the F-22s. The F-22s, another squadron, was moved on Tuesday from Lakenheath in the UK to Israel. It's the first time F-22s have ever been based in Israel, and it suggests that that is a location that they would be safer than if they were at other locations across the Gulf, where typically the U.S. would keep its warplanes. So there is a positioning of assets so that if the president takes a decision following these talks, a decision that the talks have failed, then there would be a massive air and naval campaign that would likely target not only the three sites, nuclear sites that they targeted last summer, but also the IRGC. It's not clear whether this is about regime change. We've heard very confusing messages from the Secretary of State and even Steve Witkoff in recent days suggesting that it's also about the ballistic missiles, that Steve Witkoff says that Iran is a week away from having a nuclear bomb. That is not the case based on intelligence people that I know who are familiar with the intelligence. But a lot of confused messaging. All eyes still are on Geneva and now Vienna next week for those talks with the IAEA.
All right. Well, great to have you both on board covering this story. And it's one we're watching very closely, obviously, to see what comes next. Jennifer Griffin and Trey Yingst, thank you very much. Good to see you both.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.